Have you ever looked at your cats and wondered, are they really okay when I'm not around? Cats have a reputation for being independent, even aloof, but the truth is, they're social creatures just like us. And yes, they can get lonely, like really lonely. So today, we're diving into 4 major signs that your cat might be dealing with extreme loneliness. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and, more importantly, what you can do to help. So let's get started. Number 1, excessive meowing or vocalizing. All right, let's start with the easiest one to spot. Is your cat suddenly chatting your ear off, especially when you get home? Or maybe they're just meowing at walls, doors, or, let's be real, nothing in particular. Cats are naturally vocal when they want something, like food, or for you to move out of their favorite chair. But when they start to talk a lot, it can be a cry for attention. Lonely cats often meow to express their frustration or to fill the silence in their environment. Think of it this way. If you're stuck in the house all day long with no one to talk to, wouldn't you start to talk to yourself as well? Some cats even develop different meowing languages to try to communicate better with you, which is cute, but it's also a bit heartbreaking. Now let's get one thing clear. Some breeds, like Siamese or Bengal cats, are naturally chatty. But if your usually quiet kitty turns into a full-on opera singer, loneliness might be the reason. And don't ignore it. They're telling you that they need more interaction, whether it's with you or even just some extra stimulation when you're not around. Number 2, destructive behavior. Next up is the classic, uh-oh, what did they do now moment. You come home and you find your couch shredded, your curtains swinging, or your favorite plant mysteriously overturned. Sound familiar? While cats are known for being a little mischievous, excessive destructive behavior is often a sign that they're feeling lonely or just plain bored. Cats need mental and physical stimulation, and if they don't get enough of it, they'll create their own fun, and that usually involves some form of destruction. Imagine you're a cat with nothing to do for hours on end and you see a couch. You have claws. Well, instant entertainment. But here's the thing. They're not doing it to be jerks. They're doing it because they're stressed or they're understimulated. This kind of behavior isn't just annoying, it's your cat's way of saying, hey, help me out here. If your cat is suddenly redecorating your home with claw marks, it's time to step in with some toys or some scratching posts or maybe even a playmate, because a busy cat is a happy cat. Number 3, overeating or undereating. Now let's talk about food, because who doesn't love food, right? Let me start by asking a personal question here. Ever sit around the house bored, the TV playing, and you just want to raid the fridge and eat everything in sight? Well, it's the same thing for your cat. Their eating habits can tell you a lot about their emotional state. Some cats will also turn to food for comfort when they're lonely. But if your cat suddenly starts eating everything in sight, it could be because they're bored or they're looking for a way to soothe themselves. On the flip side, some cats lose interest in food altogether. They might nibble a bit here and there, but their usual excitement over feeding time isn't there. This is especially worrying because cats are creatures of habit. Skipping meals isn't just unusual, it's a big red flag. Lonely cats might also start begging for food at odd times or even trying to steal snacks off your plate just to get your attention. Either way, a sudden change in their eating habits is worth noting. Pay attention, and if it continues, consult your vet to rule out other health issues. Number 4, sleeping all the time. Finally, we have the sneaky sign that's easy to overlook: oversleeping. Cats already sleep a lot, and I mean a lot. On average, they snooze between 12 to 16 hours a day. But if your cat is suddenly sleeping more than usual or seems less active even during their awake hours, loneliness might be the culprit. Just think about it. If you're lonely and you have nothing to do, what's the easiest way to pass the time? You sleep. For cats, excessive sleeping can be a coping mechanism to deal with the lack of stimulation or companionship. It's like they're saying, there's nothing exciting going on, so I might as well just nap. This doesn't mean that you should panic every time your cat dozes off. After all, they're natural nappers. But if their energy levels seem way lower than normal, it's time to ask yourself whether they're getting enough social interaction. Remember, even the laziest couch potato of a cat needs mental and emotional stimulation. Okay, now that we've covered the 4 big signs of extreme loneliness, you might be wondering, okay, well, what can we do to help my lonely cat? First of all, don't worry. You're not a bad cat parent if you missed these signs before. But the good news is, there's a lot that you can do to make your feline friend feel less lonely. For starters, if you're home a lot, dedicate some time for extra play with your cat. Use interactive toys like feather wands or laser pointers to keep them engaged. If you're often out of the house, consider leaving a puzzle feeder around or toys that dispense treats that can keep them busy. Another great option is to adopt a second cat. Just make sure that you introduce them slowly and properly. Having a buddy can make a huge difference, especially for younger or highly social cats. And don't underestimate the power of environmental enrichment. Cat trees, window perches, and even a good old cardboard box can make the world a lot more interesting. And lastly, never forget that your cat loves you. Even the grumpiest, most independent cat sees you as their companion in the world. By tuning into their needs, you're showing them that you care. And that's the kind of love they'll never be lonely with. So is your cat showing any of these signs? If they are, don't worry. Now you know what you need to look for and how you can help. Cats may not speak our language, but they're always communicating with us. Sometimes we just need to listen a little bit closer. Okay, it's time for today's viewer poll. This is where you get a chance to talk back to the Club Catitude community. Today's question: have you ever had a cat that suffered from loneliness or depression? And how did you help them get over it? Drop down in the comment section below and maybe you'll help someone in our community who's having the same issues. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow cat parents. Does it sometimes feel like your cat has their own superpowers? You know what I mean. Check out this next video and I'll see you there.